Yo, everybody. Have you ever looked at a game and thought, there's absolutely no way this belongs on a phone? Because that's exactly what I thought. When I found a mobile version of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Now, if you've never played Garden Warfare before, this isn't your normal Plants vs. Zombies game. There aren't lanes, there isn't planting sunflowers in your backyard, and Crazy Dave definitely isn't telling you where to put a pea shooter. Instead, it's a full third-person shooter. Plants have guns, zombies have guns, everybody has ridiculous abilities, and somehow it actually works. Back when this game came out, it felt like one of the most unique shooters around. Nobody expected Plants vs. Zombies, of all franchises, to become a multiplayer shooter, but it did, and people loved it. So naturally, when I heard somebody got it running on mobile, I had to see it for myself. Now let's be honest, whenever somebody says mobile port, your expectations instantly disappear. You start expecting missing textures, buttons covering half the screen, frame drops every 5 seconds, random crashes, and maybe your phone turning into a hand warmer. But somehow this was way better than I expected. The game loaded. The menus worked. Everything looked surprisingly familiar, and before I knew it, I was already in a match. The first thing I noticed was just how chaotic Garden Warfare still is. There's explosions everywhere, pea shooters jumping across rooftops, scientists teleporting around engineers, building turrets, sunflowers healing teammates, and chompers appearing out of absolutely nowhere. Seriously, if a chomper disappears for 2 seconds, start running because you're probably about to become lunch. One thing Garden Warfare always did really well was making every class feel different. The pea shooter is fast, the foot soldier feels balanced, the cactus dominates from long range. The all-star is basically a walking tank. Every character has their own role, and once you find your favorite, it's hard to stop playing. Then you've got the abilities, pea shooters launching themselves across the map, chompers burrowing underground, scientists healing everyone, and zombies calling in giant robot machines. Every match turns into complete chaos in the best way possible. Another thing I forgot is how much personality this game has. Nothing takes itself seriously. The animations are goofy, the voice lines are hilarious. Even getting eliminated sometimes makes you laugh, because the game is constantly doing something ridiculous. The maps deserve some credit too. They're colorful, they're creative, and they're packed with little details everywhere. Instead of boring military bases, you're fighting in neighborhoods, gardens, castles, factories, even cemeteries. Everything feels like it belongs in the Plants vs. Zombies universe, even while people are firing explosive peas at each other. Now, obviously, playing a shooter on a phone can be a little difficult. That's usually where things fall apart. But honestly, the controls are better than I expected. Moving feels smooth. Aiming isn't frustrating. The buttons are easy to reach. And after a few matches, you kind of forget you're even playing on mobile. If you've got a controller, it's even better. It starts feeling surprisingly close. To the console version, performance also surprised me. I expected constant lag, but everything stayed pretty stable. Sure, you might notice a few frame drops here and there, especially when the whole lobby decides to throw every ability at once. But overall, it runs way better than I expected. Visually, it still looks great. The characters are colorful, the effects are flashy. Every explosion, every ability, every ridiculous animation still has that same Garden Warfare charm, and that's honestly impressive. Considering this is running on a phone, one of my favorite parts has always been the game modes, whether you're defending gardens, attacking objectives, or just running around in Team Vanquish. There's always something happening. You're never just standing around, waiting for action. The action comes to you, usually with an explosive bean bomb, and honestly, Garden Warfare is one of those games that never really gets old. Every match feels different. Different teammates, different enemies, different strategies, and different moments you'll probably never see again. Sometimes your team dominates, sometimes you get completely destroyed. That's just part of the experience. Now, is this mobile version perfect? Not exactly. There are still a few rough edges. And every now and then you'll notice something that reminds you this wasn't officially made for phones, but considering what's here, it's seriously impressive. If someone showed me gameplay without telling me, I'd probably think this is some weird console footage, not a mobile game. That's how good it looks, so if you're already a Garden Warfare fan, this is honestly a fun way